Hola todos. We're on day 13 of quarantine here in my house. I hope that you're all doing well and that no one is quarantined in your house, like officially quarantined. Hope that you're all staying safe and doing what we're supposed to be doing. I miss seeing you all every day. I came up with this video because one of my students got in touch with me requesting a video on accent rules. So I'm doing this now. As I'm in the middle of making Dee's lunch, so you might hear the microwave doink as it's like ready for me to put things in, because it's kind of like a dual purpose microwave, or you may hear Dee come in. And also while I'm waiting for plaster to dry, woohoo! Because I've at least been able to get also a lot of painting and stuff done while I've been here. So I hope you're all doing well. You'll notice as we're watching this video that I did not actually write in any accents on the example words as we go through. And the reason for that being is because if you decide you want to practice, writing out the accents, because accents really are spoken, the written part is to emphasize the correct pronunciation of the word. But if you want to practice, you can always just write words down and take a picture and send them to me in any way, shape, or form, and I can give you some feedback. And I'll also plan on posting a worksheet or two through Canvas announcements as well if you would like to practice on Friday. And in the meantime, if there are any, if you want to do some practice on your own with some words and accentuation, you can always pick some maybe that you struggled with if you happen to have your Spanish stuff at home, maybe ones where I've written correct accents. As corrections, or you would make corrections and do some of those words and take a photo and send it to me as well if you'd like to, or type them out on Google and share it with me. I'm happy to give you feedback. Be aware it does not count for a grade at this time. Okay, so with that in mind, let's get started with unas palabras muy útiles. So these are some very useful words that you'll be able to use as we discuss accentuation, because we talk about, of course, las sílabas, or syllables. And so when we're dealing with accents, we often talk about the order of syllables. So we have último or última, which is last, penúltimo, penúltima, to second to last, antepenúltimo or antepenúltima, third to last, and finally, anterior, and it should be al antepenúltimo or a la antepenúltima. Okay, so I apologize for the typo there, which is fourth to last. We're not dealing with that one so much today. We are dealing more with the basic rules and a couple of anomalies. Okay, so let's roll. Las dos reglas más básicas, okay? Cuando una palabra termina con una vocal means a vowel, o los consonantes or consonants, N o S, so only the consonants N or S, no other consonants. El acento hablado está en la sílaba penúltima. So since this is the basic rule, you'll notice that we've got mainly words here that end with a vowel, enfermera. You've got that spoken accent on the second to last syllable. Brazo, spoken accent on the second to last syllable. Farmacia. Farmacia, the IA is considered to be together. Cia is considered to be all one syllable together, so the accent is on that second A of the second to last syllable. Yeso, there are only two syllables, accents in the first. Y masaje, accent on the second to last syllable. And also muletas, crutches. That E is the spoken accent. So you'll notice that since the spoken accent in these words falls on the second to last syllable, you don't need a written accent. Okay, so sorry, I had to get back there for a minute. So those were a minute ago. These are words that follow the first basic rule here. Okay, now moving on. Cuando la palabra termina con otro consonante, so un consonante que no sea N o S, a consonant that is not N or S, siempre vamos a poner el acento hablado en la última sílaba. So that spoken accent will always be on the last syllable. Por ejemplo, recomendar y evitar, both are the infinitives of verbs. So you're always going to have that spoken accent on the last syllable of a verb, unless that verb happens to be reflexive with that se on the end. Nariz, medicinal, y enfermedad. So once again, since according to the basic rules, the accent naturally falls on that last syllable, you do not need a written accent. But of course, like everything, necesitamos, should be es necesario recordar, sorry, señor, is another typo there, Okay, hay muchas palabras en las cuales se rompen las reglas. There are lots of words in which the rules are broken, okay? And you need to remember that written accents are a guide for pronunciation. So really the way to try to remember this and do your best on it is break things up into syllables. You can use dividing lines if you're trying to practice and figure it out, and sound it out. And chances are, if it sounds correct to you, you'll be able to figure out where the accent goes. And of course, some things you can do as well, like to figure out that written spoken accent. If you look at a word and try to pronounce it, number one, you can look at the basic rules, but you can also look at a word and try to pronounce it. And if it sounds right and it follows the basic rules, then you don't need an accent, okay? If it sounds right, but it doesn't follow those basic early rules, then you likely will need to have a written accent. And this may sound kind of confusing, but with some practice, it'll make sense. It's definitely something that took me some practice to be able to get down correctly back when I did do this as well, okay? So, detalles, okay? And you'll notice once again, these are sample words. I did not write any written accents. You can practice with them, okay? There are 3 different types of words that we're going to go through here. So these ones are called palabras graves, and these are words where the spoken accent is on the second to last syllable. And you'll notice that these are words where the last letter is not una vocal, it's not a vowel, it's not N, it's not S. So these are breaking one of those basic rules. You've got an accent on the last syllable, but the words end with letters that are not a vowel, N or S. So for example, if you're pronouncing these, you have fácil, where you have the spoken accent on the A, and therefore you need a written accent. And I would advise you, if you'd like, to practice with lápiz, difícil, and dólar. Once again, these break one of those basic rules. You also have palabras agudas, okay? And these are words where the spoken accent is on the last syllable, okay? But once again, they do not follow basic rules, okay? You need to add in a written accent if the word does end with a vowel, or with the letter N, or with the letter S. So you'll notice that these are all words that break that last syllable accent rule, and the natural last syllable accent rule, and therefore you do need to add in a written accent. So for example, you have corazón, it ends with an N, but that spoken accent is on the last syllable. Therefore, you need to write an accent on the last O. So I would advise you to try with estrés, presión, y energía. Finally, we're going to deal with palabras estrújulas. Okay, so estrújulas are words which are a little wonkier, okay? The spoken accent is always on the third to last syllable, okay? And words that have accents on the third to last syllable will always require a written accent. So it's a spoken accent on the third to last syllable. They will always require a written accent because they always break that basic rule that we were discussing a little while ago. So you have, for example, estómago. So you've got that spoken accent on the first O, and I'd advise you to try with músculo, médico, y capítulo. And as far as basic notes on accents, that's kind of it. Like I said, I'll have some sheets for you to practice a little later in the week. For those of you who are unable to get the subjunctive notes in class a couple of weeks ago, the notes themselves are still online, and if you would like me to share the skeletal notes with you, if you're able to print them out or make a copy, please let me know. If you have other questions or other things you'd like me to cover as well, or extra practice, let me know also. And I'll be probably posting a couple of times a week, 2 or 3 times a week, a few things for you to work on, and we'll see where we go from there. Hopefully we get to see each other sooner rather than later. Dee Dee, want to come say a quick hi or no? Want to come say a quick hi on my video? Then you better run. Hopefully she's running to say a quick hi. Oh, she's coming. I hear her. Okay, Dee, come on quickly. I'm about to sign off. Dee, do you want to say hi?
Hi.
Okay, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Bye-bye.